What? It's Tonto downstairs. There's a guy who wants to talk to you. What's he listening? Serious? That ain't coming up.
Somebody's coming up. Somebody's serious. Somebody's coming up. Somebody's serious.
That's right outside the door. Hey, Vasquez, get back!
Man, there's a big fucking signal.
How you doing, Vasquez? Talk to me. Almost there. That's it.
12 meters. 11. 10.
Then they're right on us.
9 meters.
Short control bursts.
8 meters. 7. 6. It's reading right, man. Look.
You're not reading it right.
5 meters, man. 4. What the hell?
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jerry Williams, aka Greater Sapien. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see how this live stream is working. I got a new setup here, trying things a little bit different. So let's see how things go. Let's see if there's anybody in the room coming in. Let's see. I know the live stream is a little bit delayed for you guys, so let's see if anybody's going here. And so yeah, I got a whole new little setup. I'm trying this thing through Streamlabs and see if this is going to be any sharper, any better, a little more dynamic to see what's going on. Let's see who got a few people in the room. We got Stringer News. Oh, I'm going to switch this over. I've made some scenes. You know how this stuff works. You see professionals do this kind of thing. We've made some scenes, so let's see what happens if I switch scenes here. If we get anything fancier going on here. Let's see if I get anything fancy. I don't have any of my chats popping up yet. I got this whole chat thing going, but I don't see that happening. We'll see if it works. I don't know. It may not work. I've just set this thing up and I'm kind of testing everything out. So we'll see if it works. Let us see. Okay, yeah. We got some popping up there. Cool. Excellent. Who do we got? We got Double Cross. Nice to see ya. Ed Dana. Hey, what's up? Let's see. What's that? I really should have brought my glasses. Looking hecka old here, squinting. Jeez. Make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Cool. Sounding looking good. Excellent. It's almost midnight, so you're East Coasting it over there, Sunraiser? Is that the situation? Cool, yeah. See, there's the chats on the vid and everything. I'm trying this thing out, so you guys will be part of it. Hopefully you guys will keep your language clean and all that. I don't really have, I have a few things I can talk about. What I did today was basically, I took clips of like tweets and headlines and stuff that kind of popped up in my head that came across my path, and I thought, man, maybe I'll talk about these things here. Ohio, okay, cool. Yeah, you shouldn't be up. I'm only going to be on for like, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. You know, I should set an alarm, man, because you know I just talk too much. I go overboard on these things. I'll set an alarm for a half hour. We'll talk about it after that. North Carolina, humid 85. It's almost midnight and it's 85. Yo, that sucks. With that, trying to go to bed at 85 degrees. So, yeah, you know, the world is kind of crazy, and try my best not to let things go, you know, just be my entire, you know, existence thinking about the politics and and everything. It's just it can be maddening if I just let it get to me. So but there's so many things going on, and I want to talk, so I figured, okay, let me just test the system out. I got some stuff going here. Why does that not seem to be advancing anymore? Okay, there we go. Now we got some advancing. trying to get these, see if these chats move along. Go. You guys keep talking, let the chats keep moving along. So, yeah, the world's going a bit crazy. I'm getting, I get a lot of brushback from people on this channel for talking politics, but that's just the way it goes. You can't escape it these days. Tomorrow, 96. What's up, Eric? Where are you from? Holla where you at. Now see, I'm looking at this thing, and since you guys aren't talking very much, it's delaying a little bit, and it's not popping up across the screen. So I'm going to see if I can edit that alert, that chat while we're at it, just to see if I can do a little bit of. I'm going to make it stay. Always show messages and make it stay a little bit longer. There we go. Let's try that. It'll start again, but hopefully it'll sustain a little bit longer and it'll stay up there. Message was deleted. Okay, it looks like, sorry, Eric, looks like a bot might have gotten to you. You tried to, you post a link. Right now I haven't figured out all the bot stuff. So when you try to post a link, you got timed out. Hopefully you'll be back. I think you get timed out for 30 seconds or something like that. So you'll be back, Eric. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that's the way that goes. Like I said, I'm working the kinks out of this system here. But I put up, I put a couple of little transitions in here, just for the fun of it. I kind of made up some of my own. Like, let's see if what this one does over here. They're the same ones. It's just this door closing thing. It happens there, and so I'll give a little bit more room for the chat, and a little bit less room for my big head. So that's what that is. It's just a little bit more real estate for chat than the other setup. Since everything is politicized, you have to talk politics if you want to talk about it. That's pretty much true. Everything does get politicized in one way or the other. You would think that like a public health crisis wouldn't be political, but it is. So it's crazy that everything gets. I got a bad mic connection. You say there's a bad mic connection? Okay, hold on a second. Let's see. I'm gonna work on that for just real quick. So let's do this. Is that any better? Yeah, tell me if that's a little bit better. It looks like there's a little bit of noise going on it, but tell me if that mic connection is any better. There is looks like there's about a 10-second delay, so it's going to take you a while to tell me. Let's see. Just want to say the moon isn't turning upside down every night. What does that mean? The moon isn't turning upside down every night. Yeah. Yeah, I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. Yeah. So Eric, if you could explain what that means. Explain that, that'd be great. But anyway, yeah, so for example, there's a hum now. There's a horrible buzz. Oh man, I think this mic might be going. Let's see. I apologize if it gets crazy. I think this mic, I might be losing this mic. Might be losing it. Might be time for a new mic. It's been a while. So we'll see if that's any better. That does look better. Looking at the wave. Show that. So what's this about? As it goes from horizon horizon. Yeah, I don't know what is. Yeah, I don't know what that was supposed to mean about turning upside down. Yeah, All right. Cool. Uh, yeah. So, like for example, let's see things that are driving me crazy in terms of being politicized. Let's try another transition because I got another. I have some slides here I put together. Let's see if this one works. Bang. All right. So, I came across this on Facebook. Someone that I know posted this on Facebook. It's just like a retweet kind of thing. And so it says, okay, so let me get this straight. The CDC comes out saying COVID's death went from 180,000 to 10,000, and all of you are silent. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but all of a sudden there is, not all of a sudden, we all saw this coming. There's a decision to start diminishing the number of deaths that happen due to COVID. Now people are trying to, because the number is like clicking at 190 right now. It's going to be 200,000, probably more before the election. And so you can't deal with 200,000 deaths. So now is the time where they start saying, maybe these deaths aren't real. Maybe these deaths didn't really happen, or the number has been inflated. This is the conversation that they're starting to have now. I mean, I don't know about you, but I saw this coming. I'm pretty sure I saw this coming. So now they're saying that the CDC comes out saying COVID deaths 180,000 to 10,000. You guys, I'm assuming the people who are watching this know that this didn't happen, right? You guys know that this nonsense didn't happen. So, for those of you who do think this happened, I'm going to just do a quick explanation. When the CDC puts their stats together, they track as much information as they can. And what they do is they track what is called comorbidity rates, right? So that's when you die if you die, and then you have different things involved in the cause of your death. You got in a car accident and you had a heart attack. You had diabetes and you had a stroke. Things like that. So Bill, just listen to this. I see what you just wrote. So just listen to what I'm saying. So the CDC keeps track of comorbidity rates. What that means is a person dies that has coronavirus. They get coronavirus and they die. They keep track that, one, they track that they had coronavirus, but they also see if there was anything else that they had that contributed to their death. Like, for example, you have diabetes and you get coronavirus. You get coronavirus, and then as it goes on, you end up getting pneumonia. Or while you have coronavirus, you end up catching the flu. Let's see, all sorts of things. So it's estimated, looking at all the numbers, that maybe the number they pulled is 10,000. 10,000 people died with coronavirus alone, nothing else, right? But if you had coronavirus and then you got pneumonia, well, you wouldn't have gotten pneumonia if you didn't get coronavirus. The fact that your lungs were compromised allowed you to get pneumonia. So it goes down as having both. And so that goes down. If you have diabetes and you get coronavirus, both of them go down. Hey, check that out. Got a little signal there going. Thank you, Eric Briggs. I'm going to have to change that little GIF. That's like the standard, like out of the case GIF for that contribution. But so I'll have to change that one to make it a little more unique. So what you end up getting is COVID only COVID having say 10,000 deaths, and then say you had COVID, and then you got pneumonia, you get this many deaths, you have COVID, and then while you're in the middle of struggling for COVID, you have a heart attack. Well, guess what? You died because you had a heart attack, but you had a heart attack because you had COVID. Okay, you happen to have diabetes, and you get COVID, and while they're trying to treat you for the COVID, they have a hard time keeping your blood sugar balanced. You have a hard time. Sorry, I'm looking at text. You have a hard time keeping your blood sugar balanced, and then you die. Well, guess what? It goes down as both. So that's always the way it happens. It's not something special for COVID. If you get in a car accident, and then they take you to the hospital, and then while you're in the hospital and they're working on you because you say you severed an artery in your leg or something, while they're working on that. Hey, what's up, Stringer News? Thank you very much for the super chat. Brain. Yeah, that's funny. So while they're working on repairing your leg, you get a blood clot. It goes to your brain and you have a stroke and you die. You died because you had a stroke, but you died because you had a car accident. So it goes down as you having a car accident. Okay. Yeah, Bill, I see that you apparently you tried to post a treatise in the chat where the point is to have conversation. So if you go over, say, the length of, say, a tweet, you're going to get timed out. Just so you know, it's going to happen. Now, thank you, Defiance. Love my content. Thank you very much. What was I saying? So that's what happens in regular life. If you have one thing, it goes down on your death certificate. And if there's something else to contribute, is you get both. So it's a lie for people to say that only 10,000 people died of coronavirus. Even Fauci came out and said, no, don't go with this BS. The full 180,000. That's just how we do things when it comes to tracking deaths. That's just how we do things when it comes to tracking deaths. So I had to explain that to this person, to my friend, and they never responded to me because I don't think they wanted to hear it. But yeah, so this is some disinformation that's starting to be put out. I think Joni Ernst started talking about it because she's running behind in her election, and so she needs that extra vote. So now she's trying to diminish the effects of COVID, so it won't look like they messed up so much. That the way that goes. So yeah, Bill, that's just the default right now. Don't worry, I'll tweak it. But now you have a heads up. Just keep things nice and short, under like 140 characters. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it, Bill. There that goes. That's just something that came up. Let's see if there's something else. What else is going on that came across? Oh, speaking of the other nonsense that's going on. So if you can see this here, this is a CDC director. Redfield sent a letter to governors urgently requesting them to expedite applications for vaccine distribution facilities and waive requirements that would prevent them from becoming fully operational by November 1st. This is because I know this is going to happen. They're going to announce a vaccine probably sometime the first or second week of October. They'll announce a vaccine and they're going to say, we are rushing to get it out. And we're going to get it out as soon as possible, even before the election. By November, we're going to get this thing out, because whether or not it's truly ready and whether or not it actually happens, it might get to the 1st of November. They go, no, it's going to be a few more days. It doesn't matter. That will still have pushed. They're doing it. They'll do it to push the polls one way or the other. And so some people ask me every so often, are there any conspiracies that you buy into? Right now, I am buying into the concept. This is just my own personal concept that this Trump administration is going to try whatever dirty tricks they can to stay in office. But that's not that big of a stretch, because that's what happens with politics. People try to stay in office. And when you have someone that is, in my mind, as corrupt as this administration, they're gonna say that they have a cure, or they used to have a vaccine, and it's going to come out before the election. So vote for me. Look what I did for you. Yes. Why do we need a vaccination? Trump says it's a liberal hoax. Yeah, well, hey, but it'll be done. So that's one. That's one prediction. I know I'm not the first one to say it, but that's one of my predictions. Is that sometime in early October, they're going to say that they're going to say that there's a vaccine and it's coming, just to push the election a little bit. Another thing I think is going to happen before the election is sometime in October. All these October surprises are going to happen. Attorney General Barr will announce investigations, if not indictments, investigations of big people. It might be Hillary, it might be Joe himself, Biden himself, or it might be Hunter Biden. It'll be they will announce big investigations for corruption having to do with probably Burisma and all the things that Trump was impeached for. That's one of my things I think is going to happen. They're going to make that big announcement because I don't trust people. I don't trust them at all. So this one here is the fact that they have sent out this letter to different states, basically saying, "Hey, just in case it's ready, get all the regulatory stuff out of the way so we can rush this to you." And I think it's a setup for the swerve that they're going to do. Conspiracies. The last thing I think is going to happen, and I'll bring this up when we get closer to the election. The last thing I think is going to happen not before the election. This is going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen on election day. This is just my prediction because I don't trust people. This is what's going to happen on election day. About midway through the day, before the polls close, like when some polls have closed, maybe on the East Coast, but before the polls are closed, the Trump campaign are going to announce victory. They're going to say, "We've looked at the polls, we've looked at the exit polls, Trump won. We won." He might even start doing an acceptance speech. That's what he's going to do, not early in the evening. So then, after the polls close and the actual results start to come in, or they don't come in for a day, it may not come in for a day or so, but when the actual results come in, he'll either have won, and they'll say, "See, we told you we won," right? Or he'll have lost, and they'll say, they've changed something. They rigged something. We had already announced. We had already looked at the polls. We had done the exit polls. We won. Don't you remember us announcing that we won? What did they do? They changed something. That's my prediction. That's my prediction. So let me see. Oh, I see some conversation going on here. Fauci has confidence in this vax. I'm still going to hold off a bit. Well, Fauci doesn't think this one is going to be ready yet. He's not the one saying this is going to be ready. This is the politically influenced CDC. The CDC has been getting in there and the administration has been getting in and just making the CDC do announcements. We know this from what happened a week or so ago. Trump knows what's up when he leaves office. New York got some quick. Yes, this is a president he's not merely running for re-election. He's running to avoid conviction. He's running to avoid indictment. That's what he's doing. He knows what's going to happen if he gets out of office. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know what you're talking about, Bill. The new drug, thalidomide. Yeah. The old Mandela. Yeah, that's what it'll be. It'll be like, yes, we had won, and then the Mandela effect caused them to change it. You all remember we won. Remember us announcing it? Why would we have announced it if we didn't know we had won? But they changed it. That's my prediction. Chad, Trump will just straight up win in a landslide, so there will not be any issue. I don't know about that. One, he's not going to win the popular vote. I don't think there's a chance in hell that he can win the popular vote. Now he can easily win, not easily, but he can win the electoral college. I don't know what a landslide. I don't know what you consider a landslide for electoral college, but I think it's either going to be close and he'll win by the electoral college, or he will get blown out. But I'm not going to say he's going to lose because I don't trust the American people not to fall for a bunch of BS. So, have I talked about the recent killings? Kyle Doughboy House and right winger who, going by who got shot like 2 years. No, I haven't. I haven't talked about it, but I literally have only been on here for like 20 minutes, so I haven't had a chance to talk about those things. Trump swears there are 5 lights. Yes. Very good stringer news. 2 + 2 = 5 in Trump's world. That's what Big Brother says. What I find slightly disturbing is that many of us are predicting Trump doing everything he can to hold on to the presidency. Well, the thing is that he, at least for some of us, like myself, he doesn't have any credibility for being trustworthy. We see him completely lie about things we saw him say on video. We see his people completely lie about things. They seem to be wanting to rewrite history about things he's done when laws were signed into office by Obama, but he says that he passed them. Just things that are provably false. So there's no reason for us to think he's not going to do everything he can. Yeah, it's I'm thoroughly amazed by this man. Thoroughly amazed by him. But Obama and emails China and Mexico, they took our jobs. Yeah. Why are you, yeah, I think this thing's being a little too, this bot's being a little too aggressive. I'll have to dial it back on the next time. I don't know it well enough to be able to do it on the fly, but yeah. Let's see. Trump has a lisp now. Well, he does get kind of slurry. It's very interesting. Yep. So and the whole thing with the guy that shot the people in Kenosha, it's crazy. What I find interesting and disturbing is that we have this back and forth. I have this back and forth with people, and I say, the police are killing these people, are killing these innocent people, and they say, well, this person did that, and this person that. He's not that great a guy, and he had drugs on him at one point, or he had a knife in the car. So all these reasons for the police to have been able to shoot this person, and then a citizen shoots another citizen. I'm like, what are they doing, going out and shooting? How was that okay for him to do? And then people say, well, it was self-defense. He should be he had to defend himself. And it's very interesting that whatever, because like for this Kyle guy, he could get off for self-defense. He just has to convince a jury that not to convict him. So I have no certainty that he'll get convicted of murder. He could easily get off with self-defense. But I find it interesting that whenever I have these exchanges with people, there's somebody, me in this case, that's arguing that someone's life shouldn't have been taken. And on the other side, they're arguing that it was okay to kill this person. Whether it's the police against an unarmed civilian, or this civilian against other civilians, these people who tend to be on the same side of the argument every time are constantly arguing that it was okay for someone to get killed. It's amazing that wherever you fall in terms of the political spectrum, or even just in terms of justice and where you are in terms of racial equality and all that kind of thing, why is it that people are constantly arguing that it was okay for somebody to get killed? And if you find yourself constantly arguing that it was okay for somebody to get killed, maybe you should question why you keep arguing that side. Now, I might be wrong. I might be legally proven wrong that this, if this person gets off for self-defense, I will have legally been proven wrong by the system, but I'm perfectly fine with arguing that someone shouldn't have gotten killed. I'm okay with that. I can live with being wrong because I was fighting for someone to not get killed. I'm okay with that. Let's see. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. What else is going on? What else are you folks talking about? Let's see. What are you guys going on about right now? I saw somebody say something about Hillary. So yeah, someone's talking about Trump actually breaking laws. Yeah. Hell, he broke a bunch of laws last week just by, having campaign events on active military bases, by having campaign events at the White House. Right there off the bat, those were illegal activities. He's president, so no one can do anything to him about it right now. But it doesn't mean it's any less illegal. Let's see. It's not okay for someone to get killed unless your life is in danger. Why would you let someone kill you? This isn't about letting someone kill you. I'm just talking about the fact that in all these situations, whether it's a policeman against a civilian or a civilian against other civilian, the one side is always arguing that it was okay for someone to get killed. Every time. They're always arguing it was okay for someone to get killed. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. But like I said, I don't have a problem with being wrong. No, if I'm genuinely in danger, I have no problem with self-defense. I'm a self-defense instructor, but I also know what the legal boundaries are when it comes to what I can do. And so it's more difficult when you go out in a situation, you put yourself in a position where you have more circumstances of this happening. And it's different for different states and all that kind of thing. So it's not about why would you let yourself get killed. But at the same time, you have to wonder, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the people who are arguing with me. Why are you constantly arguing that people should be killed? And it was okay for people to be killed. Every time. Oh, the guy put his knee on his neck for nearly 9 minutes. Well, he was talking back. He didn't really get killed by the knee. It was, he had drugs in his system. So I guess it's, that knee didn't kill him. By the way, that would be a comorbidity situation. Call back. That's a comorbidity situation where, say he had drugs in his system. But those drugs in the system weren't killing him. He was obviously walking around doing just fine. It wasn't until a knee was put on his neck and his airways were blocked that the circumstance of the drugs being in his system got to the point where it killed him. It would not have died from those drugs if the knee wasn't on his neck. That's a comorbidity situation. Like I said, a callback to it before. Let's see. Next. Yeah. Okay, what else has popped up? Oh, this was hilarious. This is something that I saw the other day. Ben Shapiro and Erickson were out or tweeting. It's because Joe Biden had a speech, and he said, "Does anyone believe that there will be less violence in America if Donald Trump is reelected?" And he tweeted that as well. And so conservative pundits went out and started saying, "Oh my God, he's blackmailing the American people. He's threatening the American people. He's trying to shake them down to get elected. He's saying, if you don't elect me, Joe Biden, there'll be more violence in this country." Ben Shapiro, you're being blackmailed by Joe Biden. Erickson, vote for Biden or there'll be more violence. He's embracing the left's extortion campaign. This is freaking hilarious to me. Hilarious to me. I'm curious as the reaction that some of you, because I know some of you, Bill, some other people are Trump supporters. I'm curious as to what you think about this before I go into it a little bit. Civilians' criminal record, past and deeds are irrelevant in regards, not to some people. Not to some people. That one should be. Sorry about Chris. I'm noticing that that Streamlabs is being super sensitive here. I'm going to see if I can change this up because yeah, it's being way too sensitive on these on the chat. Really censoring you guys, and that's a little bit much. So let's see if I can do something about that. Let's see if I can find that while I'm at it. Guys, keep talking amongst yourselves. I'm going to see if I can change this up. Where's my dashboard? I'm going to see if I can work on this live. Like I said, I'm working this system out. I just noticed that I was using StreamYard before, and it was really laggy, and it was not laggy so much, but it was like freezing up and things like that. So I'm going to turn that off, and yeah, I'm going to leave that on there. So I'm going to turn that off, so you guys shouldn't have a problem with the links of your comments anymore. There you go. Yeah. So I'm just curious. Okay, so you guys had a chance to look at this, because see, what I find hilarious is, you guys know I watched the RNC last week. I watched them all but Wednesday. I couldn't take Wednesday. I needed a break after the first 2 days. But the entire message of the RNC was, if you don't re-elect Donald Trump, there will be more violence. If Joe Biden gets in office, the suburbs will be destroyed. If Joe Biden gets in office, who was it? Gates, I think it was, said that if Joe Biden gets in office, he's going to get rid of the suburbs and he's going to move MS-13 in next door to you. All week, Trump saying, if I don't get reelected, there's going to be violence in every city of the country. This is what Joe Biden's going to do if you don't elect me. That's exactly what these guys, Shapiro, Erickson, and whoever, a bunch of other people were doing it. This is exactly what they're claiming. Exactly what they're claiming Joe Biden was doing. That was the entire message of the RNC. And this is why I'll say things like, I don't trust the Trump administration. I don't trust these people to be truthful, because they do things like this. This is trying to rewrite history, and it's ignoring. It's like the most 1984-ish type of mentality that I've ever experienced in my life. It's the taking what you're doing, and they do something and say it's proper. That's the exact way it should be. And the second you do it, it's not proper. And they had never done it. They've already revised it. That's just how they do it. They just switch on. It's the double think that was part of 1984. That's the conservative movement right now. It's amazing. Yeah. So these are the things that have popped in my head. So what's the next one? What was on here? Oh, this is Pence failure to admit. Okay. So, you guys, I can't remember I don't know who wrote the book, but there's constantly books coming out, right? And so a new book has come out by a New York Times reporter that's been, looking at things for some time. And so he's spilling the beans on all these things. This is about that time that Trump was rushed to the hospital. And it's coming out that that Pence was put on standby. Like, hey, whatever's going on with the president might require him to go under full anesthesia. He might have to have some type of procedure. So if that happens, then Pence needs to be ready to step in and be acting president while the president is out of commission. So apparently that happened. And so Pence here, I don't have the video, but if you watch the video, you can go find it. Pence is asked by whatever this thick-necked dude's name is. Pence is asked if this happened. And, first, about mini strokes and all that kind of thing. And Pence says, I'll leave it to, all right, plot hole, take care. I will leave it to the president's physician to talk about why he was at why he went to the hospital. That's not for me to say anything about. And so I think Britt Hume, I think this guy's name is, asked him about, well, you were put on standby in case he was underwent a procedure. Hey, what's up, Slick? Yes, I'm doing well. Nice to see you. And he was asked if he was put on standby. Now, and Pence says he doesn't recall if he was put on standby. Now, I don't know about you, but that's the most obvious bullshit I've ever heard him say. Pence has one job. One job. Does anybody know what Pence's one job is? Pence's one job is to be prepared to step in as president if Trump is unable to continue. If Trump can't do his job for whatever reason, he's incapacitated, he's killed, whatever, Pence needs to be there, be ready to do it. That is his only official job. Well, I guess as to split votes, to split ties, settle ties in the Senate. But that's his job. It's why he's there. It's what his entire career is about. And he's trying to tell us that he doesn't know, he doesn't remember whether or not he was put on standby to do the one thing he wants to do. No, sorry, I'm not buying it. Now, if someone said, did they call you and say that you needed to pick up the photo of his wife on his desk when he went to the hospital? He could say, I don't recall if that happened or not. It's that's not a very pivotal thing in my life. It's not what my entire career is about. A lot of things happen. I don't know if that happened. But this would be the only time this has ever happened to him. And it doesn't happen to most vice presidents. This is an incredibly rare thing to happen. And so if it didn't happen, he would know for a fact that it didn't happen. And he would just say, no, that didn't happen. Because it would be a fact. The fact that he says that he doesn't recall whether or not it's happened is absolute, identifiable that he's lying. Because that's the one job he has. So, my conclusion is that, whatever it was, Trump was pretty messed up. They were worried. They were worried that something was really going on. They were worried enough that they put Pence on standby. And I think the American people deserve to know. Crazy that he's actually trying to say that he doesn't know. Come on. Give Pence the person, woman, man, camera, TV test. I find it amazing that Trump, in that one interview, has given us all a memory test. Because I don't know. It's going to be a long time before I forget person, woman, man, camera, TV. I might be in the middle of another test, and they're like, "Hey, can you remember what the answer to number 4 was?" And I'll be like, "Person." Oh, sorry, that's the other list. It's like songs that you heard when you were in junior high school that you still know the words to. I'm going to remember person, woman, man, camera, TV for a long time. It's amazing that was so epic screw up on his part. It's hilarious. Pence doesn't want to lie on camera. That's not terrible, and he knows it's all going to come out. I know. But see, he's lying when he says he doesn't recall. Yeah, lie on camera in quotes, I know, but he's lying when he says he doesn't recall. He knows damn well what happened. But he can't bring himself to say it. So he's got to lie in one way or the other. Yes, that's just crazy. Not the first, but the 10th. Okay, so yes, and here's here's Trump starting to go into the conspiracy-minded way of doing things. He's kind of appealing to the QAnon people out there. I don't know if I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I don't think he thinks far enough. Like, I'm going to target QAnon, but he's targeting the conspiracy. There's there are people in the dark shadows. And the thing in this interview with Laura Ingraham is she was trying to back him off of it. She's like, really? That sounds like a conspiracy. She's like trying to like, hey, come away from that ledge, Mr. President. But no, he kept talking. So there's been people in the dark shadows that control the streets are really controlling Biden. Yes, there are puppet masters who are controlling things. For most people, that deal in all these conspiracy, that's just code for the Jews. I don't know if Trump is that twisted, but obviously he's trying to appeal to that type of person. And he's someone let him know about, I guess, but there was a conspiracy going around about a month ago about someone being on a plane and they saw these people wearing black uniforms and gear, and they were all just like these, thugs that were going to DC or whatever. And the concept that these people were on a plane with like gear to riot, and somehow they got through. Somehow they got through security. Somehow they got through all the security, and with their gear, and got on this plane to go to DC to disrupt things is asinine on its face. But he's going to spew this stuff because he needs to ramp up the fear. And I'm not saying it's not going to work. You will never go broke underestimating the American people. Thank you. My voice is relaxing me. I'm sorry I'm talking about things that aren't very relaxing. So thank you for that. Last time I was on a plane, I noticed a cruiser. Actually, one of the last times I was on a plane, I noticed it too. Yeah, it was nice. So this is what he does. Next, another one I saw. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know. Yeah, gear would go as baggage. But according to Trump, they saw the gear, that these people had all this gear. Yeah. And they said gear on. So this is Trump in that same interview, trying to come up with an excuse for, in this case, this was the officer shooting Jacob Blake in the back 7 times. And so he says, well, this happens sometimes in these high pressure situations that, he choked. The police choked. Every so often, some of them are chokers. You get into a high pressure situation, just like in golf tournament, you miss a 3-foot putt. It's pretty simple. It's just your basic job. But for some reason, for the pressure, you choke and you do the wrong thing. Can anyone conceive? And I hate doing this argument. The if Obama had done it argument. But if Obama had said that police shooting people is because they get in a high pressure situation and they choke, he would get crucified, probably almost literally. To say that the police are doing this because they're just failures and they choke under pressure is amazing. And he did this. He did it again today. Someone asked about it, and he said, sometimes you choke. It's and so why he thinks this is a tactic that's okay to do. I guess this is one of those situations where it doesn't matter what he says. The police unions are going to be for him. The law and order people, supposed law and order people, are going to be for him. So go ahead and insult the police. Go ahead and insult the police because you're going to vote for me anyway. It's like, after all, he was able to just blatantly insult John McCain and prisoners of war. And they still voted for him. He straight up said, I like people who don't get captured. And they said, okay, yeah, sure. It was incredibly insulting to someone who's considered a war hero and other prisoners of war out there, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll give him a pass. So right now he's out there literally just insulting police. But I guess it's better to say that this policeman choked than to say that the system has a problem. It's better to just insult an individual policeman. It's an amazing tactic. And I think I have one more slide set up here. I don't remember what it was. Oh, this is that same thing where he's just talking about the plane was filled up with looters, anarchists, or rioters, people looking for trouble. And when he was asked specifically how he knows about this, he says, well, someone high up that you would know if I've told you, but has said this. Maybe one day I'll tell you. Which is code for, I just made that shit up. Yes, there is poor training, Scott. Okay, I'm done with these slides. I'm going to go over to, back over to this guy. Yes, so I would say there is poor training, and in some cases there's no training, and in some cases it is trained in them that it is better to shoot. It's just better to shoot. You've probably seen, but and I've been involved with people who are involved in this type of training. There are training seminars where they basically instill this kind of warrior mentality into them, that they are the line between good and evil, and so it's they're trained that their judgment is best, and if they feel a certain way, the first act should be to shoot. That's just the way it is. Not all police. Let's not go there. But so yeah, some of it is poor training. Some of it is no training. Some of it is intentional training, and some of it is just societal conditioning. That's on top of the fact that some people are in a bad situation, and you know what, they had that was the best option. It's not a great option, but sometimes the best option is to shoot. I'm not going to act like it's not. I'm not going to act like it's not. There are circumstances where a person can be unarmed, but it still be an incredible threat, or you don't know there are mistakes that there are reasons to shoot. I'm not going to act like they're not. But it's not just poor training. It's not just that. Part of it is that's how they were trained, and that's how the culture is instilled in them over the years. By the because you go through your 6 weeks or 8 weeks of freaking training, and then you get moving. That's not where they get all their training. They get their training from being in the department and with the other police. That's where they get their training, and that training isn't necessarily that good. So I don't know who you're talking to, Chad. You must be talking to somebody else, because I literally just said that there are reasons to use force. So, as a person, like I said, I I get paid not so much anymore because I don't do in-person training anymore. But self-defense is is one of the things I do as a side gig. I have my main job, and then a little side gig of doing the self-defense instruction. So I'm not going to say that it's never any circumstances where you need to defend yourself. So I would for sure shoot someone if they attack me. Really? You would just shoot someone if they attack you? What level of threat do they need to be in order for you to shoot them? I'm going to ask these questions, okay? Because look, and this is something I actually did have a session with someone last week, last Friday. Did some self-defense training, nice little comfortable social distance. A lot of conversations in the self-defense that I'm involved in. So this is talking to the people in the chat, especially I guess there's somebody named Chad who's talking about how he would shoot somebody if he needed to, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You say you said you would shoot someone if they attacked you. Okay. Not all attacks. So especially in law enforcement, but especially when it comes to self-defense, please, there is escalation of force. The point is that you use the force appropriate to make yourself safe. So, for example, if someone, so what did you say here? Have a weapon coming. See, you're being more specific now, but someone attacked me, blah, 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 is different, okay? So if someone's coming at you, they're the same size as you. They got their fists up, okay? An appropriate use of force would you escalate force. First you tell them to get away, right? Tell them to back off, and then you can escalate to yelling at them, whatever. Then you can put your hands on them, right? They haven't swung at you yet. They're just physically threatening you, coming at you. So you can put your hand. Now, if you think they're about to hit you or something like that, you can take the first shot. You can like, look, I thought an attack was imminent. I did what I felt I could do because I had no place to go. By the way, if someone's just coming at you to hit you, someone says like, I'm gonna kick your ass, and they just come at you. At least this is California, and they just come at you. And there's in California is a little bit iffier when it comes to stand your ground stuff, but you have to show that you actually didn't have the option to just leave. Like, for example, if someone's walking towards you and you're just walking down the street and someone is standing right there saying, come in closer, I'm going to kick your ass. And you walk up to them. It's like, well, someone's going to say, well, why did you go toward them? Well, they were walking toward me. Why didn't you move away? Well, I didn't have to move away, but you saw that they were going to maybe punch you. Why didn't you move away? They'll ask. And you have to come up with a reason why you didn't move away in order to be able to save self-defense. You have to be able to say why you didn't move away. So you're backed up against a wall or something. You say, hey, I couldn't run. I thought about it. Like, for example, me. If someone's coming at me and they say, why didn't you run? Well, guess what? I have a really bad left knee. I'm not running anywhere. And I would say I couldn't run because I have a really bad knee. If I started running, they would just catch up to me and tackle me from behind, and I'd be in a worse situation. So I didn't run. All right. So they come at you, fists up. All right. You push them or whatever. That's perfectly fine. You even punch them first. They're coming at you. You think they're about to punch. Screw this. Bam. Take them out. Bam. You do it. All right. Now, if they're coming at you just with some fists and they're not like, you're not little and weak and this person's like 10 times bigger than you or something like that, you just pull out a gun and shoot them, they're going to go, that was a little bit too much of an escalation of force. Now, you say that they're armed with a weapon or something like that, then that's different. But the idea that the fact that someone is attacking you by the very nature means that you have the right to kill them is just not correct. Not legally correct. Slick says when the right to bear arms was written, North America was being colonized, and carrying a gun was a good idea, but guns are needed to the average person these days. Not really. Yeah, I'm not a big gun person. I actually own a gun. I just don't own any bullets in this house, but I inherited a gun, so I still have it. But I don't have any bullets. And I was doing a self defense with somebody, and that always trains with their little a training firearm. It's doesn't shoot. It's just like a dummy. And so we set it up together, and they said, and he says, well, you don't necessarily know. I always know that this person always has a gun when we're doing the training because that's his thing, which makes it really annoying. I'll tell you about that in a second. But he says, and we're about to set up in a room where we have to fight with other people. So we're about to go into the small room to fight other people. And he says, you have a gun? And no, I don't carry a gun. He says, I have mine. And he says, what do you do? He asked me, what are we going to do if the other person, they have a gun? I said, I'll just take yours. That's my mentality. I'm like, hey, my job was like, you're just carrying my gun for me. I don't need to carry a gun. Yes, Jim Jeffries' gun sketch is pretty hilarious. I don't know how many times, Bill, guys, you have to be told not to post links. Right now, you're not being allowed to post links. But anyway, this guy that I have trained with, he always has a gun because that's his thing. It's really annoying because when you spar with somebody, when you do like simulations with somebody where you get in a situation, maybe you get in a small room. Bathrooms are really good for practice fighting. When you get in a small room with somebody, you go through the motions. You do slow motion or you do kind of medium, depends on who you're with. And it was always annoying with him because I knew that his only goal was to get in a position where he could reach into the back of his waistband and pull out a gun and shoot. That was his goal. That was like the majority of his training was to make sure that he would be able to get access to his gun. Even when he was the aggressor, it was really annoying training. It was annoying just because I wasn't able to work on the things I always wanted to work on. I always had to work on crap. I'm being attacked by somebody with a gun, which is fine. And I worked on my disarming techniques a lot and learned how to choke somebody out really quickly if they have a gun. Yeah, I digress. Anyway, so the whole concept, someone saying that, I have an issue with people defending themselves is just nonsense. You don't know me. I am perfectly fine with people defending themselves. I do have a problem with people who feel like, a gun is their only option. Like I said, I don't carry one. But I also, I live in Oakland, California. I walk around the streets freely. I happen to be a big black man in Oakland, California, but I don't feel like I need to carry a gun. I'm prepared to defend myself. I keep, solid objects with me, especially a particularly rigid flashlight that I keep with me. This is my favorite weapon. But sometimes I'll have my staff with me because, hey, I have a limp. Secret. If you know you have like an injury, like a limp or something, train using canes and sticks. So then you always have a weapon with you, but you're also perfectly valid having it with you because you have an obvious limp. My limp's not that obvious, only when I'm really tired. But you can legally carry it. It's a weapon that you can legally carry with you at all times, even on planes. Just don't have like a hollow cord one with a sword down in it. But I have a very dense wooden cane that works really well. And I've been constantly training with it just to get myself adept with it because get to carry a weapon. But that's not a gun. Let's see. Yes, mag lights. Mag lights are the smaller ones. The big lights, double cross. The big lights are too unwieldy. Okay, now we're looking at an hour, so I'm going to be getting off of this thing shortly. But a big mag light is Tool and welding. So like I used to, when I was working for as a campus cop back 30 years ago. They used to give us these mag lights, right? Big, and they'd be like this long, right? And they were heavy, and it was always like, you know, that was supposed to be our weapon. And these things have, I mean, they're great. They have like three or four, D-sized batteries in it. They're really heavy, but they also they're slow to swing. They are slow to swing. I don't have mine with me, and also it's so obviously a weapon. When people see it, it's obviously a weapon. And so if you want to use it as a flashlight, you're like, okay, here's my flashlight, right? Tick, 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 and then you get this thing and you're trying to hammer it. The flashlight I have is about this big. It's about that thick around, but it's about this big. And actually, I'll give you another self-defense. I'll give you a self-defense tip. All you guys who are thinking about self-defense. So I have a flashlight that's about this long, twice as thick, about that thick, and it fits just like this. Okay, so it has one. It works as a great knuckle firmer, right? It allows you to punch with good structure. Look at that. When you have a fist like that, that is great structure. You can hit really hard with that good structure without hurting your wrist. If you squeeze on this real tight, you will not hurt your wrist when you punch something. Yes, also lumens, very bright, LEDs. They were, and situational awareness, of course. Bright LEDs in somebody's eyes. Okay, boom, flashlight. And then you have the ends that protrude on the outside of your fist. Okay, those can be used as hammers. All right. Those are, and I have one that has a little nub on the end of it that are just devastating. So what it does, it's a magnifier. It's a magnifier of your punch. One, it's a blinder, and you can get somebody 50, 100 feet away, 200 feet away. They see that light. One, they think it's a cop. Two, it's blinding. So you get this in their eyes and they're blinded. One, and that's one. And two, you have this really firm punch. And you can just hold it in your pocket. It's not a concealed weapon. It's a flashlight. It's a tool that everybody can use. It's not like, oh, I keep this sawed-off screwdriver in my pocket. Why do you have a sawed-off screwdriver? What's a tool? No, you sanded it down. It's not a tool. That's a weapon. Okay? Flashlight is a tool. So that's what I use. I might have another one here. Hold on a second here. Don't know if I have my other device nearby. It might be in my other drawer. But it's like this. Yeah, we're off topic, but this is just a little something. So, what I have is a Sharpie, a big black one. You know, the one that's thicker, about that big, same size, right? What I've done is I super glued it closed, right? So there's the top will never come off, but it's got a good amount of weight to it, and since it's 2 or 3 times as thick as this, it's about the size of this thing right here. Like I said, super glued the end down. Laser pointers are not great self-defense. One, because it's illegal to point a laser pointer at somebody. It's illegal to point a laser pointer at somebody, so you will get in trouble. But so, yeah, super glued. Got a Sharpie, super glued the cap on it so it doesn't pop off ever. And then that can be used. It's just a marker, but it can also be used. Done. Let's see. Let's see. Green laser pointer. Rabbit rifle is just a rifle made like an assault rifle. High trigger pull, 1 round shot, blah, blah, blah. I'm not impressed by people who talk about how they can shoot guns. And I know people who, train guns and as self-defense. It's just not my thing. And so when, if something were to happen, and whenever something happens, you have to call the police right off the bat. What did you say, AJ? I'll look, things passed me by. What did you just say, AJ? Well, I'm glad to have helped you in some way. AJ. It was a marker pen. Keep the cap on and imagine stabbing. There you go. Yeah, that's exactly it. So, as AJ was saying, if you have a circumstance where you had to defend yourself, whatever reason, all right, call the police. Just call the police immediately. Even if you didn't get hurt, you call the police immediately. Because if someone attacks you, remember you're dealing with dirty people, crooked people. Someone just attacked you, especially when someone tried to rob you. Someone's trying to rob you. You beat the crap out of them. You call the police immediately, because if they need medical care, right? If they need medical care, they may call an ambulance, or they may call the police, and then they will file a report against you. So you need to make sure that you file a report saying you were attacked. Yes. So you need to file a report, especially when it comes to like young gang members or something like that. If someone is posting up to you because they want to prove something, and you end up beating them or something, they go home, and their parent sees what happened to them, and he goes, "Oh, this guy just beat me up." They're going to call the police. The parents are going to call the police because maybe they don't know their kid's a troublemaker, so they're going to call the police because their kid got beat up, and they're going to file a complaint, and that person's going to go down as the complainant. All right, you don't want that. So if you ever get attacked, you call the police. But so you're talking to the police, and they say, "What happened?" And you say, "Well, this guy was attacking me. I was backed up against the wall. He had a knife, or I thought he had a knife. He was holding his hand in his pocket, whatever it is. So I reached into my pocket and pulled out my gun and shot him." Like, so did you see the knife? No, but he had something in his pocket. Well, I reached out my gun and I shot him. Scenario one. Guy was coming at me. He was backing me up against the wall. There's no way I could run. He had something in his pocket. I reached into my pocket. I pulled out my knife and I stabbed him. Scenario two. Scenario three. Backed me up against the wall. I could not run. He had something in his pocket. I didn't know what it was. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my flashlight, and hit him with it. Who are you going to get when you're talking to a jury and talking to the police? Where are you going to get more sympathy? Which one of those scenarios are you going to get more sympathy for? It's like, oh, you had a flashlight on you, and you hit the guy with it. All right, you did what you had to do. I'm sorry, you were walking around with a knife in your pocket? Why did you have a knife in your pocket? Were you looking for trouble? It might be hard. I mean, you might still win, but it's an uphill battle. Sorry, you had a gun in your pocket? Why did you have a gun in your pocket? Do you have a license for that gun? Do you have a permit? Do you have a concealed carry permit? Okay. Were you looking for trouble? There's problems you're going to get into. But I reached my pocket and I pulled out my marker. And I just hit him with it really hard. Right? I hit him really hard. Or I pulled out my flashlight because I was walking alone and I always keep a flashlight with me. And I hit him with it. Your Honor, my client is just an innocent man, was walking home, had a flashlight with him, and when the guy attacked him, he hit him in the head with him. Yes, I understand it's tragic that man has a brain injury, but my client just had a flashlight, just walking down the street. Just had a marker in his pocket. Was walking down the street. He's an artist, which I am. He had a marker in his pocket. So, there's a quick Greater Sapien self-defense tips lesson. And I see you guys are all talking about guns and this and that. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not down with the gun thing. But you guys are all displayed in the chat up there, so it's cool. So this has gone pretty well. It's time for me to get going. Oh, it's been like an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to be heading out. I'm going to when I exit, there'll be about a minute or so of music, and then things are going to be done. So start wrapping up your conversations. It's been a pleasure to just talk with you guys. I'll be doing more of these just because it's actually easier for me to just get on here and vent for a half hour or 45 minutes to an hour than to produce videos about topics I don't really care about anymore. So there'll be more to come. The world is going crazy, and it's all on my mind. So I will talk to you soon. You'll be able to continue your chat. Thanks, Brainery. You be safe, be well, and I will talk to you soon. The chat will be closing in just about a minute, and I'll be back in the next couple days. Take care, everybody.